18 September 2023, we will move from the point we stopped considering the audit of the bank system. In Europe and United States, we have observed that the show business phase 1, 2, 3, and 4, we could check the white collar crime and the corruption also. We observed that the institutional corruption put things much more fast in the pace of shredder souls and in general the innocence of the people. We could observe yet that we have parallel models as piracy, which goes as also as architecture of an entire production of things, including the use of power. We could prove this in the same way. We could observe that this collinear interest in things misguided sets the idea as trust, since you all are at the failure. And the failure, some once in a while, linked or pointing to the use of state power, allow the case to be at the International Criminal Court. We will observe that the fake records will allow you to do torture, murder, will call as bondage, dominance, submission, and mutilations or murder. And we are observing that cases are kind of, popping at the scenery. And all this, it's quite clear for the agencies, the agents, and the officers that has the financial interest as background. Can change your image, can change the image of your company. Affect also the stakeholders of your business, the interest in your personal and independent activity, even for as pro bono. If you have to sustain yourself and your personality, insisting in be who you are and not got linked or associated with a criminal activity, you for sure can be guilted by this, because the personality is one of the rights of the person, not respected or disrespected by those evil engineers, name a trust going from public department and misuse of state and institutional power, shredding the soul and the innocence of the people. The bank system, as my universe representation here has a diagram. Using the Venn diagram, can be straight legal or not legal with criminal activity on it. Indeed, we have the relation between banks or interbanks also has the value of the system, because it's one of the properties of in each system. In general, things inside carry elements of the system as itself. And we will observe that intrabank we will have this relation here. I can broke, the secrets of the bank to get the account if I'm supposing that someone is a criminal inside the bank, despite the evidence and all proofs before, that it will be used as the database sigma, because we operate in global scale, or in a large range as geographic soil. Considering names on tax fraud, not observing or have any kind of consideration about the engineer such as Laffer effect to push things in association by tax evasion and tax fraud, only having the names. We will observe that the names now are linked with the illicit activity on bank system. The names are linked with the illicit activity between banks or interbanks, and also inside the banks as intra-banks. The relation between banks will be here. In the same way, the relation inside the bank will be something very, dynamic and fast. In general, the relation between banks, which implies interbank, and the relation inside the bank by each options as portfolio with factorial behavior. This representation here of the bank can be as a linear perception as bank activity considering the bank, or a exponential behavior considering all activities inside the bank. In both cases, I will represent the bank as the bank A or the bank A as behavior factorial, which indeed is having the entire components and elements interacting inside the bank. In all cases, we observe that we have the distortion as corruption, but now here is indeed criminal activity. The bank must offer the names crossed with tax fraud on departments in USA and Europe. And we will understand which is the storage as variables before have the money illegally obtained transferred to the bank system, that indeed is the physiological argument as intrabank criminal activity, interbank criminal activity, and entire bank system as criminal activity. In general, will be salary of sports players or the estimated values on events like stars or something like this, and other things that for sure has no surprise at all. The tracer is quite clear and the model is flawless. You will obtain the names, and in general they will be walking through the bank system by someone that got hired by someone else that hired or did the designation of this hand that is doing the record to cover or sustain the illicit workflow inside the bank, interacting with other banks with the same patterns. Now we will have two lines of research to act, and this is the idea, and I think that is enough to work. The bank system as quality, as you could observe, failure. We will have the hiring and who hired, who got hired by someone, or can be the B as group of person that got hired, group of person hiring, common element of both, leading to which is the influence doing this, because this will be observed by the same group as offender at the company, picking who is the next CEO or the board member, not by skills, but the facility as keep scams or run scams. In general, is the ideas broke window. In the same way, we will have the storagers, which is the person that will hold the money until transfer to the bank, and the storage at bank. The same thing, we will have B quoting mark, and A quoting mark. The elements here, it will be the C quoting mark in a very specific moment, but sooner or later we will check the identity, and there will be no excuse to put the domain of criminal influence at bank system and show business on jail. right? While data attached. Functional with value, but unfortunately under criminal interference of Brazilian peers by the misuse of state and institutional power, and this is at my size, at my sense, with the mental disorder that now I'm having, the autism, that's okay, but you pay me the full share, God, with your entire guiltiness. And after having this, you will have confirmed the economic espionage, the institutional dialogue between the International Criminal Court, which recognizes the economic espionage and all crimes by the misuse of state power, with the antitrust justice in the United States and Europe, right? Because the corruption as common segment indeed is a trust scam. Have a great